Hello, 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 sellers. It's Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, come on in, come on in. First of all, big shout out to all of you. Thank you. So, thank you for following my Facebook business page. I love to be selling. I've got over 4,000 sellers following the page, liking the page. So, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel. Kathy Terrell, I love to be selling. Well over 8,000 subscribers. 8,000, 5, 6, 7, 8,000. Thank you, thank you. And those of you who listen on my podcast, thank you, thank you. Kathy Terrell, I love to be selling. Over, I think I'm coming in on 90,000 downloads. I might have crossed 90,000 downloads. I haven't checked this week, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, thank you. And if you don't, if you're watching on YouTube, if you could click the subscribe button, I would certainly appreciate it. And if you are watching, listening to me on Facebook, if you can like my Facebook business page, I certainly appreciate it. So come on in. I wanted to talk about the unexpected truth about eBay selling. Because I've been seeing a lot of posts. Oh gosh, it's like, oh, there's this glitch. Oh, my sales have stopped. Oh, I'm stressed. Oh, burnout. Just various frustrations, and I totally get it. Trust me, there's days where I'm like, eBay. But again, stress, burnout, frustration, glitches, slow sales, no sales. It's like, what do I do? How do I do this? What is the truth about eBay selling? And what is the truth for new sellers, part-time sellers, and full-time sellers? And you have sellers that are selling on eBay for a relatively short time and they just skyrocket. You're like, how on earth are they doing this? And then you have sellers that have been on for a long time. All of a sudden the sales slow down. Sellers that have been on for a long time, all of a sudden their sales are skyrocketing. So what is the truth about eBay selling? And the truth is, and this comes from years of experience, I'm on eBay over 15 years. I work with a lot of different sellers, part-time sellers, brand new sellers. And if you are new to eBay, welcome, welcome. Very experienced sellers, multiple six-figure sellers, sellers all around the United States, sellers with employees, sellers that don't have employees. And by the way, you can do a six-figure business without employees. You can do it. It's work. The truth about eBay selling, whether it's slow, fast, whether you're new, more experienced, part-time, full-time, no matter where you are on your eBay journey, it is work. Yes. Is it a lot of fun some days? Yes, it's lots and lots of fun. It's superb. It's great. I love eBay selling, or I would not be doing it for so long. And yes, there are days where you pull your hair out, or some of your hair. And if you've been selling on eBay, we can talk. There was a period where eBay lost a lot of our pictures. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Years and years and years ago, we were encouraged to have very ornate, pretty templates. And then it seemed like all of a sudden overnight, it was like, no. Now everything is to be black and white and very simple and very plain, because now we're going to be mobile friendly. Remember that when that first came along? But yes, it is work, but it is work that is worth it. And what it is, because I see people wanting to go from part-time to full-time, people that are full-time, they want more profit margins. That means you're making more money per item. People where they had certain inventory sourcing and it's not working anymore. All of a sudden something explodes. You're doing really, really well. But your source has sold out. It's like, oh, I need to find another source for this. It is work. And there are so many hours in the day, right? We all know this. Some things you can get more of, right? You can make more money. You can hire people. You can find more inventory. You can reimagine your space to store inventory better. I've done that several times. In fact, I'm thinking of doing it again next year. And follow me because I'll be doing tips on storing inventory. It might be that you're moving into a warehouse. I work with many sellers that have warehouses, a warehouse setup, which I think is great. Um, Other people have huge basements. That's their warehouse. Is to look at the first thing to look at, and this is true whether you're part-time, full-time, and no matter where you are on the full-time spectrum, which could be you're a full-time seller making, let's say, 1,000 a month, or you're a full-time seller making 5,000 a month, is why do you sell on eBay? It's really good to get grounded in that and to look at that. When I first started, it was because it was super, super, super flexible. Many jobs say they're flexible, and I really needed a job because my mom was sick at the time and going in and out of the hospital a lot, if you don't know my story. And I really needed a job where I could literally, here's I am with my pen, put it down and walk away at a moment's notice. And most jobs just aren't set up like that. And I understand that. I mean, if you're working in a store, I used to do off-Broadway shows, TV and film. If you're on stage, you can't just go, excuse me, I'm leaving now. So I really needed something I could just put down and walk away if I needed to. Mom's in the emergency room. I need to, I can finish something up in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, but then put it down, walk away because I needed to go meet her at the hospital and help her. And eBay did that. eBay was that for me. And for years, mom had declining health for years and a lot of different medical issues and going to doctor's offices. So eBay was it for me. I could do my shipping like first thing in the morning or in the afternoon. And this is back in the days where we used to fill out customs forms if you were shipping international. Then I grew and scaled my eBay. And you could be thinking, well, Kathy, I want to scale my eBay too. Is what I encourage you to do, because this is about the unexpected truth about eBay selling, is you have a lot of great skills and you may not be consciously focused on them because you're watching YouTubes or you're listening to podcasts and you're comparing yourself to others, right? So somebody else, I'm trying to think of somebody, but somebody else might be really good at sourcing pallets. Pallets is a good one. Sourcing pallets. Well, pallets are big and they come in on trucks, and you've got to be able to offload the pallet, store the pallet, and have room for a pallet. I've got lots of seller friends that do, right? I even had a seller friend couple, their home in the Midwest literally had a warehouse on the property. So they had a warehouse, they could receive pallets onto their property. Their warehouse was on their property, so they didn't have to commute to work. They literally just walked out the back of their home. I'm in New York City. I'm not set up to receive pallets. For me to receive, now I do have friends in Brooklyn that can receive pallets. So if I wanted to, yes, I could, with my relationships with seller friends that are in Brooklyn, work it out. They could receive a pallet, and then we'd have to break it down and figure it out. I prefer not to run my business that way. So my inventory has to come into a New York City brownstone, which means it's got to come in boxes. I cannot receive a pallet where I am. That means that I'm going to end up spending more on shipping than my friends who receive pallets. And I'm going to be buying in different lots. Like maybe I can buy 100, 150 of something, or 200, because I've got to be able to walk it up. Brownstone with no elevator, which means everything goes up and down 2 flights of stairs. I don't have a forklift. Okay. So it's that thing of, what's my physical setup? Is my inventory coming into my home? Where is it going to get stored? And this is true for part-time or full-time. So my new sellers, you start with selling what's around the home and sell it. And you find out whether you like everything involved with eBay selling, which is the listing and the shipping and the customer service. My more experienced sellers, you're like, Kathy, I'm doing that. And you're part-time, which means you either have a full-time job or another part-time job that has a schedule, right? That has a set schedule. And you're doing your eBay or your reselling, because you might be on Poshmark or another site, around that job. You might be part-time because you are a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad and you're homeschooling. Or you might have special needs folks in your family. You might have elder care. So then your schedule is around their schedule. For instance, I'm thinking like my grandson. It's like, okay, this is when he's going to be in school. And when I'm babysitting, I know when he's coming in, which is going to be after school, and he's going to be with me for these set hours. Now, if I was my son or my daughter-in-law and I'm selling eBay, is I'm doing it around the child's school schedule, around the work schedule. And you know what those hours are. So what does that mean? So let's say I've got the part-time job, kids, elder care. Do I have morning hours? And this really is important to think about. People are like, well, I just sort of sell around whatever else is going on. That's good, but you need to think about how much time you actually have for selling. Okay. Do you have an hour in the morning? Do you have half an hour in the morning? Or is the morning like, forget it, it's just about getting the kids ready, getting them out the door. There's no way I can really do any selling things in the morning. Okay. Then your shipping when you sell is going to need to be done the night before, or you figure out a way, like perhaps after the kids are on the school bus or wherever they're going, that you have half an hour to get things packed to ship. Many places you can arrange with the USPS to pick up your mail from you. It might be your local postal carrier. Again, you're going to check with your post office, your postal carrier, if that's available. In New York, I can have it done, but I do not control when they show up. And typically they show up very late in the day, like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Things are scanned that day, but they don't start to move. You'll look at the scan. So they have I see the receive scan, but they don't start to get processed, go through the shipping hub. Here in New York, our shipping hub pretty much is in North Jersey till the next day. If I walk the mail to the post office, it starts to move today. So I have set up my schedule that I can get my mail to the post office. Either I drop it off, and sometimes it's several trips, yay if it is, and my husband will help me. And I have thought if I ever got really, really, really busy, I could hire, there's various local people that I could hire, teach them, okay, here's the mail, here's the mail bag. This is the post office you're going to. At my post office, this is how you drop off prepaid mail. I would teach them how to do it. And I've thought about that, that I could do that. Okay. So you think about your shipping process. When are you going to ship? How are you going to ship? And how long does it take you to ship? And you can think, oh, it only takes me half an hour. I really challenge you. I have this little clock. Whoop. I just took the light too. Watch the clock. Start shipping. Don't rush. Do it at the speed that you do it at. And look at how much time it takes you to do the mail. Notice, okay, I packed 5 things. It took me 30 minutes. Or 4 things. It took me 20 minutes. Whatever it is. And make a note of it. 4 things, 20 minutes. Do it for a couple of days. And just so you get a rough idea of how much it is. Okay? Sourcing. Once you run out of things from around your home, where do you source? And this is a big variety. Some is thrift, consignment, yard sales. Don't forget retail. So as you're going around, various retail stores can be great for sourcing. They can be great. And online. You can buy things on eBay and flip them if you don't know them. So you think about sourcing, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it. And if you are going into a thrift or you are buying online, watch yourself. So I'm going online. I'm going to check eBay 3 times a week for, this is a Braun clock, if I remember correctly, because I've discovered that Braun clocks do really well. So let me see if other people are selling Braun clocks, if they've undervalued them or if they put them in lots, and then I can sell them. So I'm going to check eBay 3 times a week, figure it's maybe 5 minutes for me to go onto eBay and search for that. So it's 15 minutes a week I'm going to be searching. Write it down, this amount of sourcing. I'm going to go to those. I go to 2 thrift stores a week. I spend 2 hours thrifting, 3 hours thrifting, maybe it's 4 or 5 hours. Again, watch the clock. How much time do you spend? It's so important to know. It's just like money. Where's the money, right? Where did it go? And you know how much time you spend shipping, sourcing, because those are two big ones. And then when you're listing, and again, it's important not to rush, because we'll go, oh yeah, I can knock this out in 10 minutes. Look at what your typical speed is. How long does it take you to research? How long does it take you to list? Even if you're doing something like sell similar, how long? Is it a minute, 2 minutes? You need to know. Again, clock per item average. And let's say, so you're doing 6 listings. Let's say it took you 30 minutes. You're going to divide that by 6. Okay. So you know, okay. And again, obviously some things are longer, because there's just more research. It's a higher ticket item, but you get an idea of what the average is. So you get an average of your listing time, which includes research, average of how much time it takes you to ship, and your sourcing. And then you look at your life. What are things that are in your life? Like, do you have part-time job, full-time job, family, things that are set? And then you look at what it takes to do your eBay, whether you're part-time, full-time, and then you figure it out. So let's say I am part-time. Let's say I'm doing 5 listings a week, and I'm shipping, let's say I'm shipping 3 or 4 items a day. Okay. And I'm shipping 6 days a week. So I ship 3, I'm going to say 3 a day times 6. I'm shipping 18 a day. And I'm making, after I pay eBay and everything, let's say I'm making $250 a month. Okay. I want to double that. But this is good because I know how much time, because I've done it. I've done the math. I've written it all out. I've looked at my schedule. I haven't rushed. I've worked at the speed that I typically work at. I know what I need to do to create $250 on average a month. To double that, typically you're going to need to double the listing and everything else. Okay. Typically to double your income, double the listing. It can be increase your profit margin. Okay. So absolutely that. But basic rule of thumb is I'm going to have to double that. Then you go back and you look at your schedule. Where is the time going to come from? And that's what you decide. The things like, can I get an app that will speed this up? Can I get help? So let's say I like to drop the mail off, but my postal person is fine about taking the mail. That just saved me 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That 30 minutes, what can I do with that as far as sourcing, listing, things that are going to create money for me? Because that's the focus. I have X amount of hours in the day. This is my goal. I'm at 250. I want to go to 5, or I'm at 5. I want to go to 1,000, or I'm at 5. I want to go to 700. What do I need to increase? And typically it's going to be listings. I'm either increasing the number of listings or I'm increasing my profit margin. And people will say to you, oh, source this. People will say a lot of things. If you haven't noticed, people will say a lot of things, but it's what you can source. So for instance, if I notice, I'm trying to think of something, luxury, which is not easy to source, but let's say when I am able to source luxury, it has a good profit margin. Or something like, I have found that unusual cookbooks, believe it or not, have really good profit margins. So I start to look around for places where I can source really unusual cookbooks. We're going into winter. The puffer jackets that are actually lined with down. So I start to look at what thrift stores, resale stores, but do not forget online, because oftentimes the retailers will really mark things down to move them in the winter. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on end of season sale, because yes, winter will sell in the middle of summer, particularly when you're shipping international. So look at, and you need to really be honest with yourself. Okay. Like at the beginning, I really had like maybe 3 or 4 hours a day tops to do eBay. I'm not going to do a 6-figure business unless I have a whole team assembled and I've got the income to pay them to run a 6-figure business on 3 hours a day. It's just not going to happen. But I had the income that I had. So then after my mom passed, I go, okay, this is the amount of listings I have up to make this amount of money in this amount of time. And I was very aware of how much time I had every day. Now, if I have double that amount of time, instead of 3 hours, I have 6 hours. How do I divvy up the time as far as listing, research, sourcing, shipping to do that? And that's what you're looking for. But the big unexpected truth about eBay selling is there's not a magic pill. There's not a magic product. People will push this out there and it's like, no, it's not true. And the unexpected truth is it is work. It is work. It's work. It's work for everybody. But finding ways to make it as pleasurable, enjoyable, and that can be, your seller friends. It can be a favorite store you have. It can be the freedom that it gives you. The reason I sell on eBay, besides the fact that I love it, I love eBay sellers, I love eBay, is I love being my own boss. And that's an unexpected truth about eBay selling. You absolutely can be your own boss. You absolutely can be a full-time seller on eBay anywhere in the United States. You absolutely can do it. There's different ways to source depending on where you are in the United States, and that's going to change. Also, how much cash you have on hand that you can invest in inventory, and that will change. But you absolutely can do it. You can do it. Okay. A huge part of getting sales on eBay is the way your listing is formatted. So it's like, yes, sourcing, so important. Okay. Great shipping, so important. In fact, it's always good to read your feedback, see what customers are saying about you. And typically they will comment on the shipping because you know how it is. You buy the thing, you want it. I want it now. I want it right away. I want it to show up in one piece. But it's the way you create the listing. That's definitely changed. If you've been selling for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because the way eBay search works has changed. And that's because the algorithms on eBay have changed. And it's because the way the internet works has changed, and Google search. So things that might have worked even a year ago may not be working now. And it's because algorithms and search changes. A huge part of eBay search and Google search algorithms are the keywords. And the keywords are the words that are used in your title. Titles are hugely important. I mean, grows in importance almost daily, okay? Because it is an area that is mined by eBay search for knowing what you're selling. And then they can surface your item, show your item to the right buyer. So picking the right keywords for your item. And then if you're sharing on social media, to pick right keywords to share your item on social media, again, so that you're favored by the algorithms, is huge. And I've written a guide on this. eBay search happens to be one of my favorite topics. I love studying it. And I have a wonderful hit guide, Keyword Domination to Explode eBay Sales. Hugely popular. Sellers love it. I have it half off as a Cyber Monday special. So do grab it while it's on sale. 10% of the proceeds go to my eBay seller friend Lorianne Wong's food pantry, Reflections of Trinity, which helps folks in need in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So grab Keyword Domination to Explode eBay Sales, which will help your listings to explode because it helps your listings to be discovered by eBay search and shown to shoppers that are looking for what you're selling, but your keywords are so important. So hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and grab Keyword Domination while it's half off, okay? And just to let you all know, yes, 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 you can absolutely succeed and flourish as a part-time and full-time seller right now on eBay. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.